Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Pat Winokur. I'm the Executive Dean in the Carver College of Medicine, and it is a true honor to welcome you to our 32nd White Coat Ceremony. The first order of business is please welcome our new class of M1 students, class of 2030. Definitely, they're the stars of the show today, but I'd also really like to welcome all the friends and family that have come here today in support of our new M1s. You make a big difference in their 4 years here with us, and we are so happy that you've come to celebrate today with us. Also, I'd like to thank our faculty and staff, our associate and assistant deans, course directors, all of whom have come out to show their support. This is a really important part of the medical training. Our faculty have a lot of influence, and we're happy that they've taken the chance to come. I'd also like to take the opportunity to recognize some of my colleagues that are on the podium today. First, I'd like to introduce our University of Iowa president, Barbara Wilson. Thank you for joining. Next is Dr. Chris Cooper, who is the Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education. He's also a professor in the Department of Urology. Next is our today's keynote speaker, Dr. Jeff Quinlan, who is the professor and chair of the Department of Family Medicine and Community Medicine. And finally, Dr. Lillian Erdahl is the president of the Iowa Medical Society. This is the statewide professional association for Iowa's physicians, and Dr. Erdahl also is one of our own faculty here in the Carver College of Medicine. She's a professor in the Department of Surgery. Okay, students. You should all feel incredibly proud for pursuing a career that we believe is a lifelong pursuit of not only science, but also service. You have a purpose for being here for the next 4 years, and we hope you take that seriously. When I began medical school a few years ago, we didn't have a white coat ceremony. And I have come to really appreciate this ceremony. It's the beginning of a really whirlwind of 4 years of education, lots of interesting experiences. They're going to meet all sorts of different people and have different experiences that they can take into their careers. But it also has a deeper meaning. And I think you'll learn over the course of this day some of the purposes for having this white coat ceremony. These students have chosen a career that has a very deep impact on people. They're going to be working with patients during times when they are sick, uncomfortable, scared, and they have an opportunity to make that better. And so we think that this is an important ceremony for respecting that purpose for being in medical school. We really take great pride in offering our students many different avenues to pursue their passions. Some of them will graduate with distinctions, and maybe it'll be global experiences, maybe it'll be research, maybe it'll be community service. They have an opportunity to enrich their training in many different ways. No matter your path, our faculty and staff are here for you to support you. We're so excited you joined us here at the Carver College of Medicine. We think you bring incredible experiences to us, and you enrich our entire college. I've had the opportunity to travel to other medical schools and meet lots of other faculty and educators around the country. I can tell you Carver College of Medicine is special. The University of Iowa is special. And I am so happy to have the opportunity to be a Hawkeye. I hope you too have that same sense 4 years from now when we're sending you off to the next stage of your training. So please join me in another round of applause for the medical students of 2030. So I now have the privilege of introducing Dr. Barbara Wilson. Dr. Wilson is the 22nd president of the University of Iowa. Under her leadership over the past 5 years, the university has made a lot of strides. She embarked on a new 5-year strategic plan. In that plan, the students are front and center. She's embarked on transformative faculty recruitment and retention programs. She's initiated new programs to support first-generation undergraduate students. She's significantly expanded mental health and well-being programs and services for students and the entire university community. And she's created a 10-year facilities master plan that will improve the academic space at the core of campus and modernize the delivery of education and patient care. President Wilson earned her bachelor's degree in journalism and a master's and PhD in communication arts from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. She came to Iowa after having served as the executive vice president and vice president for academic affairs at the University of Illinois System. She is a leader and a true champion for the university, the Carver College of Medicine. We are delighted she's here for this white coat ceremony. So please join me in welcoming President Wilson.
Thank you, Dean Winokur. This is truly an honor to be here today. And I want you to know that I do this every year that I can join this amazing ceremony. I wear a white coat, okay? It's not quite the same as what everyone up here is wearing, but it's as close as I can get to honoring the amazing, amazing commitment that you're making and the work that you'll do. So, so happy to be here. And I'm so proud of all of these students sitting here on this stage and excited about the commitment, the work they're going to do, the way in which they will become the best of the best in healthcare and beyond. You're going to make a huge difference in the world. I know you're probably not thinking about that this very moment. You're still thinking about how you get across the stage and get your coat on without tripping and without having the coat not fit on right or whatever the case is. But I know, based on this amazing College of Medicine, that you're destined to do great things, and we're so, so proud that you're here. This is, as you've heard, a fabulous institution. I'm not just saying that because I'm president. I've worked at other places. I've traveled around a lot. And what I like to say about Iowa is that we are an institution with comprehensive excellence. So we have excellence across disciplines. We have creativity oozing out of every pore on this campus in science, in the arts, in the humanities, and the social sciences. And we have amazing community. And I hope you're already seeing that for those of you who are joining us fresh and new to Iowa City. But this is a place where people roll up their sleeves. They want to join each other. They want to make a difference in the world. And you don't find that at every place and in every community. This is a place that believes in each other and knows that by working together, we can do bigger and better things. Our healthcare mission is to help the state of Iowa, as well as the country and indeed the world. And we're doing cutting-edge research every day that is changing medicine and changing lives. Welcome, all of you, to an amazing tradition. And thank you to the family, the friends, the partners in this audience today. You're part of their commitment. You're going to hear some stresses and strains among these students over the next 4 years. And I want to thank you for supporting their interests, their goals, their dreams. They're going to need you along the way. And we know we're going to support them on our end, but we know that you're going to continue to do a lot of that work as well. So I want to just mention that well-being, you've heard, is a huge priority of mine. It's a big priority of the campus. Take care of yourselves. If nothing else, make sure you take care of yourselves. And I say this to everybody. I try to exercise every morning, even if it's a short little spurt on my Peloton bike, because I know I'll be a better person and a better leader for the day if I can sweat a little in the morning. Now, it may not work for you in the morning, but at some point during the day, make sure you take care of yourself. Find that special time for well-being and to take care of the person that you need to be so you can become the best healthcare person you can be. So family, friends, thanks for joining us today. Students, I'm excited to shake your hands, welcome you to this great adventure. M1, Carver College of Medicine, go Hawks. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. There we go. Learn from their example. All right. So the preceding remarks, thank you, President Wilson, was brought to you by Peloton. So it's my pleasure to be here today. This is a happy event, and I certainly appreciate all the faculty, staff, students, friends and family being here as well to share on this special and this very happy occasion. As the Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education, it's my job to oversee the selection process of the students who will attend the Carver College of Medicine. And I'm pleased to note that the class of 2030 is truly an exceptional group. As a graduate of this college, I speak from firsthand experience when I can tell you this is a great medical school. Much better than the school I graduated from, okay, which was this school, but many years ago. So there are so many more opportunities, both inside and outside of the classroom, that these students have. There is so much more support. So they really are, and you really are, truly attending an outstanding medical school. I think one of the truly great things about Iowa is the people, and you'll find that the faculty and staff here at the Carver College of Medicine truly do care about you and your experiences, and we will be there for you throughout your medical education. There's also an unparalleled spirit of collaboration among the students as well as the faculty, and that's what makes for an outstanding learning environment. I know that as the college's newest students, you're going to strengthen and carry on that tradition here and wherever you ultimately go. Now it's my privilege to introduce the keynote speaker for today, which is Dr. Jeff Quinlan. He is the professor and chair in the Carver College of Medicine, Department of Family and Community Medicine. Dr. Quinlan is a professor in the Department of Family and Community Medicine and serves as the Donald J. and Anna M. Otley Chair. Did I say it correct, Jeff? Otley Chair, and the Department Executive Officer. He joined the University of Iowa faculty in 2020, following a 28-year career in the United States Navy. He was drawn to Iowa because of his interests in maternity care, obesity, and telemedicine. He currently leads the Health Hub's Technical Assistance Program, which is funded through CMS's Rural Health Transformation Program. Dr. Quinlan teaches across the spectrum of learners and particularly enjoys teaching as part of the Early Clinical Experiences program that all these students will participate in. He also enjoys teaching in the Family Medicine Clerkship and the Longitudinal Continuity of Care elective. Last year, he was selected to be a faculty member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society. This is a really big honor for any faculty that achieves it. He's published multiple peer-reviewed articles and currently serves as an associate editor for the American Academy of Family Physicians Advanced Life Support and Obstetrics program. He's also the vice chair for education for the Family Physician Inquiry Network. I've worked with Dr. Quinlan on various roles and on various committees, and I can speak from personal experience when I say he is terrific. He is a very well-grounded person. He's got a wealth of information, and I'm really excited that he's here to give the talk to you guys today. So please welcome him appropriately.
Thanks, Dr. Cooper. I appreciate that. Well, good afternoon, Carver College of Medicine, class of 2030. It's great to be with you here today. It's really good to be with my fellow faculty members, and particularly the family and friends of these students that we see before us today, as we really celebrate the start of the next chapter in their lives. It's quite an honor and a privilege to be here with you, to revel in the success that they've already experienced as becoming members of the class of 2030, and to really look forward to the journey that they're about to embark on when they enter the classroom, I think like Monday morning, bright and early, so it's good. It's hard to believe that it's been 38 years since I've sat where they're sitting today and first put on my white coat. At that time, I had no idea what specialty I was going to do. I had no idea where my career was going to take me. And I had no idea that I'd be one day standing with you all here in Iowa. I was the first member of my family to go to college. My dad dropped out of high school at age 17 to join the Navy to fight in World War II. My mom, a high school graduate, was a secretary until I was born, and then after that she stayed home with me and then ultimately my three siblings and raised us. My dad was what I now would call old school. When I say that, I mean strict. And he would often say things that I didn't truly understand as a child and as a teenager. He often talked about these concepts of honor, courage, commitment, and I really didn't have a good understanding of how those applied to my life then, or maybe even how they might apply to my life moving forward. Being the first of my family to go to college, there was a lot that we had to learn and that we didn't really understand. The first of which was how expensive college was. Now, all of you sitting here know that today it's really, really expensive. Back in my day, it was probably less expensive, but still for a family that never experienced this, it was a lot to try to figure out. And at that point, I was kind of considering both medicine and I was thinking a little bit about biomedical engineering, and I knew both of those would probably require me to do some graduate work. And so my dad and I sat down before college and we came up with a plan and kind of an agreement. And that agreement was that if I figured out a way to get myself through undergraduate work, that he and my mom would figure out a way to save some money over the next 4 years, and then despite the fact that he was at a place where he could retire, he would continue to work to try to help get me through medical school. Unfortunately, between my junior and senior years of college, he had a massive heart attack, and he ended up having quadruple bypass, and both his cardiologist and his surgeon encouraged him to retire. But he kept refusing because he had made an agreement with me that he was going to help me pay for my medical school. And one day I was back in central Pennsylvania on a hiatus from school, and he had a cardiology appointment, and I went with him, and the cardiologist pulled me aside, and he's like, "Hey, Jeff, your dad needs to retire. He doesn't want to retire because of this agreement. So I'm not trying to be a jerk, but I got to let you know, like, if you want him to be around, like, this isn't going to work for him." And so I realized at that point, like, I've got to try to figure something out. Couple days later, I was back in Pittsburgh where I did my undergraduate work, and there was a guy who came to one of our pre-med meetings, and he was in a white Navy uniform, and he talked to us about how the Navy had paid for him to go to medical school and how he graduated without any kind of debt from his medical school education, and the fact that he just had to pay back some time to the Navy if he decided to do that. I thought about it for about 30 seconds, and the next morning I went down to the federal building in Pittsburgh and I applied for a Navy scholarship to go to medical school, and I was fortunate enough to get it. Fast forward about 9 months later, I'm sitting in Newport, Rhode Island at Naval Officer Indoctrination School. So we're not allowed to indoctrinate people anymore in the Navy. It's now called Officer Development School, but it's still indoctrination. A big group of us, I think 140, 150 of us, came into an auditorium very similar to this, maybe a little bit smaller. And on the first day, on the front wall, in big gold letters, were the words, honor, courage, commitment, the Navy's motto. Till that day, I had no clue that these three words my dad had been talking about were things that he picked up as a 17-year-old kid in the South Pacific fighting alongside of the Marines, and then lived the rest of his life with. And so if you'll give me a little bit of grace, I think for the rest of my talk today, I'm going to talk to you all in particular about how those three words not only guided my naval service, but did and continue to guide my medical practice, and I think one day, hopefully, will guide your practice as well. Honor can be defined as a strong sense of right and wrong, honesty and fair dealing. In their article about professionalism in medicine, Cruz and Johnson say, honor serves as the foundational moral contract between the physician, the patient, and society. Because medicine involves incredibly deep imbalance of power, where patients must trust strangers with their bodies, with their secrets, and their lives, honor acts as the self-regulatory force to ensure doctors prioritize patients' needs over their own needs and desires. This is going to be summarized in the Hippocratic Oath that you will recite a little bit later today, and in the Declaration of Geneva, two oaths that really guide the practice of medicine in 2026. It involves putting our patients' health before our own personal interests. It involves keeping patient information strictly private. So when you hear people talking about patients in the elevator, tell them to stop. It involves admitting errors instead of trying to cover them up. One word of caution for you, though. It turns out that ego and pride can be very dangerous things when you start talking about honor. And a lot of times, what we end up doing when we think we're acting honorably is we're internalizing that, and we start to feel pretty boastful and pretty prideful. And you really do need to be careful to monitor that. I think it's really important for us to monitor that ourselves, but also to have folks who can help us with that. And maybe it's just me, and maybe I've been too prideful, but I have a tiered system for that. So phase one is I use my wife and my kids. In particular, I find my daughters are the best at helping me with this. A good quick example from just a few days ago, I overheard my daughter talking to one of her friends, and she said, oh, my dad doesn't actually work. He just goes into his office every day and talks to people. And so I'm like, yeah, kind of true, actually. In the past, before she passed, my mom was tier 2, and she was always really good at popping that pride bubble for me. A particular story that I often like to tell folks is when I was an intern in Charleston, South Carolina in 1992, it was July 5th. So I'd been in the hospital for 4 days as a young doctor, and I started on my OB rotation. And it was really the first time that I was at home during the day, and so I thought, well, I'll give my folks a call and just check in and see how things are going. And my mom asked what I was doing, and I told her, well, I'm doing OB right now. And she said, well, what do you do when you're on OB? And I said, well, it's great. I catch babies, and I've done 20 so far in just 4 days. And she's like, well, what do you do when the babies are being born? I'm like, well, I catch them. I make sure they don't fall on the floor. And she's like, well, what's the doctor do? And I said, well, Mom, I'm the doctor. I'm the one catching the baby. And she's like, but who's in charge? And I said, well, it's just me. Like after the second day, they stopped coming into the room for the deliveries, and I just do them by myself. She's like, Jeffrey, they would never let you do that. You always know you're in trouble with your mom when you get the full first name, right, Jeffrey? So Actually, I know, the first time and also, fortunately, the last time I ever hung up on my mom. I was a little tired, and I just probably wasn't in a good place to deal with that. My third tier is my patients. And I'll tell you another OB-related story. I've done a lot of maternity care, and so a lot of my good stories in medicine are related to my maternity care. Fast forward to 2010. I was getting ready to leave Naval Hospital, Jacksonville, Florida, where I had been faculty at the residency program for about 8 years. And I was in my very last delivery there, and I was just watching one of our senior residents who was delivering their continuity patient. And I was standing there just kind of in the corner of the room, my arms probably crossed. And after a little bit, the patient looked up and she said, "Were you in Charleston in 1992? And as you all now know, I was a brand new intern in Charleston in 1992. And she said, "I had my first baby at Naval Hospital Charleston on July 1st, 1992. I said, "Yep, I was there and I was doing OB, so you probably did see me." She goes, "They made you stand in exactly the same place you're standing today, and they wouldn't let you touch anything. Are you any better now than you were then?" So I was standing in the same place. I really didn't have a lot to say. So the next core value I want to talk about is courage. Courage is the mental and moral strength to face danger, fear, and difficulty despite being afraid. Despite being afraid. Important, it is not the absence of fear. We'll all face a lot of fear in our practice of medicine. Instead, it's the decision to do something and to say that that thing is more important than the fear that you're experiencing. Over the next 4 years of medical school, and then the following probably 3 to 7 years of residency, you'll gain great medical knowledge and technical skills, and you'll be an excellent physician. But all of that is worthless if you don't have the bravery to act on those skills that have been given to you. As a medical student and as a resident, you need to have both the moral and the emotional courage to challenge senior nurses, senior physicians, when we try to do the wrong thing, we propose the incorrect treatment. You need to have the courage to report if there's unsafe practice. And you need to have the courage to call it out when you see somebody who's not acting with honor. Our system relies on each and every one of us to do that, and that takes courage, and you need to work on that. You also have to have courage to accept uncertainty, to make and take decisive action, to overcome shame, and to admit your mistakes. And maybe most importantly, and I still do this quite frequently, to be willing to say to your patients and to your colleagues, "I don't know, but let's find out." You're never going to know every single thing that you need to know in medicine. Finally, you need to have the emotional and the social courage to deliver difficult and grim news and to care for difficult patients. In both of these cases, you need to remain compassionate and be fully present to the challenge that you have at hand. You also have to have challenge to set boundaries, and in particular, to set boundaries at work. Sometimes somebody might offer you a really cool job, and you might have to just say no because of the impact that might have on your family and the rest of your life. You have to learn to listen to the people around you and kind of make sure that you're having balance in your life. You need to be committed not only to your work, but to your spiritual life and to your family. These are foundational, and you're going to want to have both of those things present when you hang up your stethoscope someday, and so you have to maintain them throughout your career. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not training you to be a mechanic who, at the end of the day, you can leave your car up on the lift, and it'll be in that exact same place when you come back the next morning. We're not training you even to be a well-functioning attorney who can put down the legal briefs to go hit the links in the afternoon and come back to right where he or she left them. We're training you to be physicians. And sometimes Your patients are going to require you to stay late in the afternoon, late into the evening, and even overnight sometimes, because if you don't, they may not live through to the next morning. Now, the good news is if you've largely lived your life in balance, the people around you, they're going to understand that, and they're going to respect that, and they're going to give you the grace to do that work you need to do. And they'll be readily accepted. This really speaks to the last core value for the Navy, which is commitment. Being dedicated to a cause, activity, or a person, a binding pledge, again, in this case, the Hippocratic Oath that you'll take today, that restricts your freedom of choice to fulfill your duty. There's 4 enduring commitments in medicine. The first of these is the commitment to lifelong learning. Again, this starts on Monday morning when you step foot into the classroom, and it ends the day you hang up your stethoscope. It's the commitment to get proficiency and then to maintain that proficiency. The second is continuity of care and the doctor-patient relationship. This is the one that often is going to make you miss dinner, and it might make you miss a sporting event of your children, but it's important because it is the heart of our profession, that doctor-patient relationship. The third is our commitment to public health and to health equity. So having the commitment for health equity and to work to eliminate disparities is essential in the work that we do on a day-to-day basis. But it also is the commitment and the courage to come to work during public health emergencies, natural disasters, and pandemics like COVID-19, despite the fact that often you personally will be very fatigued and your own health may be somewhat at risk. And then fourth and finally is the commitment to professionalism and mentorship. You will meet many dedicated faculty during your time here at Carver. They all stand ready, willing, and able to be mentors for you, and I would encourage you strongly to take advantage of that. I would say that same people serve as mentors to many of us who are sitting as faculty here today in the audience. Take advantage. That's what they're here for. But keep in mind, you don't have to wait until your hair is all gray like mine to be a mentor, okay? You can be a mentor to one of your classmates who's struggling with the Krebs cycle. You'll know what that is here in a couple weeks. You can be a mentor to an undergraduate student or a high school student who wants to follow in your footsteps. You can be a mentor to family and faculty members. While we're talking about family and friends, they're not just nice to have, they're essential to have. It's easy while you're in medical school to forget about your family and friends, especially when you're in that grind, but please don't do that. Please make sure you keep in touch with them. As we talked about, they're going to help keep you balanced. They're going to kick you in the butt when you need it. They're going to help pick you up off the floor whenever you've tripped and fallen for one reason or another. Try to treat them with honor. Make time for them, assist them in their own personal growth, help them achieve their goals. Have the courage to tell them when their lives are out of balance, if they're spending too much time at work, if they're neglecting their families, and be committed to them. Be there for them when they're getting married, when their children are christened, any of the things that they celebrate as enjoyable things in life. But more importantly, be there when they suffer losses, when they are struggling with life's challenges, because this is really when you need to have a friend. And I guarantee you that if you do that for them, they're going to do it back to you. So in those times where you need a friend to be standing next to you, maybe you got divorced, maybe a sibling died, a parent died, they're going to be there to help you. I personally have been very blessed to have some good friends and a really supportive family over my life. Never would have predicted the many twists and turns, and I certainly wouldn't have survived some of them if it wasn't for my family. And I'm sure that many of you who are here today could say the same. It may have even started with some guy who was telling you 3 words that you really didn't understand, but unknowingly watched him live those words, honor, courage, and commitment every day of his life. Thank you, Dad. More than 3 words, these, as we've talked about, are the foundation of the career that you're entering. Watch for them, reflect on them as you recite the Hippocratic Oath today. Make them part of who you are. I've been truly humbled to be given the opportunity to come and talk to you this afternoon. In 4 years, as you reflect on your training here at Carver, you will know that you've been well trained and you're ready to handle any medical challenge that's been put before you. As you take this first important step in the profession of medicine, I really encourage you to strive to keep balance in life, to foster long-lasting friendships, and to maintain your humility. If you do so, I'm confident that you will succeed in your medical career, and more importantly, you'll succeed in life. Unlike how we typically end, given the nature of this talk, I'm going to end with, go Navy, beat Army. And thank you for your time.
Dr. Quinlan, that was terrific. I got to admit, I always wanted to have gray hair. So as a token of our gratitude and our appreciation, we have a clock for you here today to commemorate your keynote speech, and your name is engraved on it. So thank you again.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah. So now let's turn our attention to the white coat. It's a powerful symbol to both the medical profession and society at large. The way physicians dress has been an important part of the medical practice since ancient times. In fact, Hippocrates advised doctors on how they should dress, saying, "The healer's uniform should imply a professional interest and interaction. It must convey to even the most anxious patient or physician a seriousness of purpose that helps provide reassurance and confidence that medical concerns will be dealt with competently and conscientiously." Students, the white coat symbolizes your transformation to becoming a physician. It is a cloak of compassion and dedication toward your fellow human beings. May it also serve as a reminder of your commitment to your education and to your chosen profession. Today, we will introduce the students by membership in their learning communities. The Carver College of Medicine learning communities are designed to allow students to support one another and provide more opportunities for leadership and service. They also provides learning activities across all 4 years of medical school. The communities help strengthen relationships between students and faculty, collegiate staff, and individuals in our local community. Each medical student has been randomly assigned to one of 4 learning communities. The faculty directors of each community will now introduce their students for the presentation of the white coats. We will begin with Dr. Anna Schmitz and Paul Van Hoeklem, who will represent the Bean Learning Community. As they read the names, I will bestow the white coats with faculty directors' assistants, and Dean Winokur, President Wilson, and other esteemed guests will offer their congratulations. Dr. Schmitz and Van Hoeklem.
Thank you, Dean Cooper. It is our privilege to represent the Bean Learning Community today. The Bean Learning Community name pays tribute to a prominent physician whose legacy is still very evident in the Carver College of Medicine. Dr. William Bean served as the Carver College of Medicine chairman of the Department of Internal Medicine from 1948 to 1971. During that time, building a great academic enterprise that encouraged excellence in patient care, teaching, and research. He was noted for boundless curiosity and a genuine love of learning. His leadership style encouraged, even inspired young faculty to greater heights of achievement than most dared to dream they would attain. And now it is our pleasure to introduce the new members of the Bean community as they receive their white coats.
Raphael Aguirre. Asha Allah. Gabrielle Bingener. Brianna Kanoy. Catherine Chen. Tyler Christensen. Derek Cruz. Faith Fairbairn. Benjamin Fisher. Sarah Fraley. Blake Hansen. Carter Henning. Maxwell Holmes. Shiravani Inampudi. Kaylin Johnston. Christopher King. Alexander Kirby. Murthuel Prasath Madan Prasad. Sharia Magatapali. Jocelyn McKeever. Clara Mincer. James Neal. Lauren Palmer. Isha Patel. Camden Patterson. Grace Peel. Malia Pinkney. Akash Pradeep. Carter Sauls. Ryan Smith. Emerson Spear. Sam Steenson. Parker Sternhagen. Drew Zalat. Lorena Tran. Emily Treptow. Emma Vicker. Lillian Watts. Carter Wayman. And now from the Boulware community, I'd like to introduce Dr. Miriam Murray and Ben Ranking.
Our learning community pays tribute to Dr. Lois Boulware. Dr. Boulware worked her way through college during the Great Depression, and was only one of 6 women who graduated in a medical school class of 101. Throughout her career, she was a strong advocate for patient rights and started the first patient advocacy program in the nation here at Iowa. Changes that resulted and still persist from her efforts include introducing interpreters for non-English speaking patients, developing what is now the UIHC Volunteer Services Program, and creating a place for family members to wait while their loved ones underwent surgery. The Boulware Day of Surgery Lounge is still in service today. Dr. Boulware was a lifelong learner, compassionate, humble, and dedicated to her patients. These are all traits we hope to instill in our Boulware community members.
Adam Allen. Kyle Balk. Mia Batani. Olivia Baxter. Nicole Chang. Moesha Chatlani. Nathan Dang. Anita De La Serna. Tyler Dennis. Catherine Easter. Dominica Ekstrom. Claire Enyart. Michaela Haiti. Shreya Jain. Ryan Jilick. Amr Kadan. Emerson Cleese. Julia Coe. David Lavender. Samuel Lindgren. Jackson Logie. Jenna Mayfeld. Mian Mindu. Emily Mills. Andrew Wynn. Devanshi Patel. Atif Qureshi. Daniel Rowe. Luke Rugemer. Reese Smith. Grace Stegan. Olivia Tager. Mustafa Telfa. Emily John. Reese Townsend. Swetha Tunuguntla. Jack Williams. Brett Weininger. And we'll hand it off to doctors, oh my gosh, I always get your last name wrong. Brooke, you should see how it's spelled. Brooke and Alexandria for Phlox.
I will fully admit it is spelled strangely. Okay. So on behalf of the Phlox Learning Community, I would like you to tell you a little bit about our community. Our community is named after Dr. Reuben Phlox. Dr. Phlox earned his medical degree at Johns Hopkins University and then attended the University of Iowa for his residency in urology. He moved quickly through the ranks, and after serving as the chief resident, he became a faculty member here and eventually the department chair, a role he served in for several decades. His work ethic and attention to detail were legendary. He was often the first to arrive at work and the last to leave, regardless of how junior or senior he was in his career. He was a recognized world leader in the research of bladder and prostate cancer. He had numerous research publications and held many local and national professional positions. Importantly, in addition to these academic achievements, he was especially known as a very caring and sensitive man, one genuinely concerned for the welfare of his patients and for the professional development of his students. It is our hope that the students of the Phlox Learning Community will be inspired by the achievements and compassion of Dr. Phlox, while also feeling the comfort of a learning community that provides support and camaraderie. It's my pleasure now to introduce our new Phlox stars. Okay. Alexis Elaine. Jacob Bellardo. Felicity Boudelier. Caleb Burns. Jacob Butler. Austin Carnes. Peter Cheng. Mia Duclay. Still not well. Will Fairman. Megan Funk. Shreya Gotti. Jenny Gang. Avery Hand. Thomas Hart. Maya Helms. Selena Hua. Sarah Marie Jobber. Malika Karimi. Braden Kirkpatrick.
Okay. Kevin Liu. Arsh Manazar. Lauren McNally. Maddie McWilliams. Zoe Meany. Luke Patterson. Emily Peterson. Braden Reynolds. Abigail Ryan. Megan Sleep. Matthew Steinbraun. Devin Streef. Shandan Suresh Babu. Brooke Van Engen. Carter Vanderloo. James Wu. John Xiong. Kane Zemo. Shamiso Zindoga. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the co-directors of the McGowan Learning Community, Doctors Catherine Harris and Brian Kessner.
The McCowan community celebrates the career of Dr. Jenny McCowan, who was one of the first women to enroll in and graduate from the University of Iowa Medical Department in 1876. Dr. McCowan serves as an inspiration to medical students today by way of her service to the community. She served as the director of the Hospital for the Insane in Mount Pleasant, Iowa, and later as a private practitioner in Davenport, Iowa. She founded the Iowa State Society of Medical Women to dissuade theories that linked insanity in women to disorders of the female organs, encouraged children's interest in science by founding and supporting the Lend a Hand Club in Davenport, Iowa, which assisted working-class girls and young women, and also developed an interest in tuberculosis prevention and treatment. Dr. McCowan is still a role model to students today, and the McCowan Learning Community aims to continue her reputation for community service. The McCowan community hopes to inspire the next generation of students, just as they have been inspired by Jenny McCowan.
Lauren Anderson. Nathan Barlow. Dylan Burr. Ethan Deacon. Ethan DePiro. Logan Fritz. Riley Swenson. Zachary Gerard. Gwendolyn Gavin. Conrad Gerhardt. Alexandra Hippen. Midori Hupfeld. Nick Jensen. William Kettlecamp. Ashutosh Kumar. Na Lei. Evie Lee. David Liu. Andy Liu. Benjamin Madden. Meghna Malapan. Ella McLaughlin. Meredith Munson. Jessica Munielli. Anya Najapa. Bryce Overman. Frema Owusu-Asa. Joshua Pinzor. Tyler Plank. Jonah Pratt. Sean Prell. Samuel Robinson. Krithika Sharma. Kennedy Skinner. Bailey Sowers. Lorraine Tilley. Haley Wallstrom. Caitlin Weeks.
Okay, we promised that the most ceremonial part would be at the end. And Dr. Quinlan alluded to this oath that we're going to recite in a moment. But there really is perhaps no greater duty than the one that a physician accepts. Physicians hold unique knowledge that requires years of patient study and a constant desire for continued education. Members of the class of 2030, when you decided to become a physician, you made a promise to practice the art and science of medicine faithfully and truthfully. You've agreed to accept the duty of helping your fellow human beings. This is not a promise to take lightly. Whether we make a difference one patient at a time or through research and discovery that will help many people, we must always remember that promise. The Hippocratic Oath, named for Hippocrates, the ancient Greek physician and father of modern medicine, was created to emphasize the promise you've made. Our college has been celebrating this oath since our first white coat ceremony in 1995. To our students, I urge you to think about the true meaning of this oath as you join me in making this pledge. So please stand. You ready? Okay. I do solemnly swear by that which I hold most sacred, that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to all, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick, to the utmost of my power, I, holding myself aloof from wrong, from corruption, and from the temptation of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and will give no drug, perform no operation for a criminal purpose, even if solicited, and far less suggest such a thing. That whatsoever I shall see or hear the lives of others, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolably secret. These things I do promise, and in proportion as I am faithful to this, my oath, may happiness and good repute be forever mine. The opposite, if I shall be forsworn. So students, you can sit. This is the end of our ceremony, and it is a really phenomenal day. It's the last day of orientation for the students. Monday, they start bright and early. We're going to be putting all those brains to good use, and we hope you have a great weekend preparing for that first day of classes. So congratulations. Give them a round of applause.